to understand how your parents reacted to this decision of yours. You're 13, you're out there on streets for our planet, which is very, very impressive. How do your parents react to this?
Well, you see, when I first started my activism, at such a very young age, my parents, especially my mother, didn't support me at all. It was because, as a mother, she's worried about a child's future, my future, my education, and a lot more things like that. But I promised my mom, I promised my parents that I would handle both my activism and education equally, because they're both equally important to me. And I did keep up with that promise. Well, you see, when I started my activism, I was in Odisha only, at the age of 6 years old. And then I started protesting every week in front of the Parliament House of India, so that I could raise my voice, so that I could call out the government of India to take the immediate climate action now. And I had to travel every week, from Odisha to New Delhi. So my parents couldn't afford the expenses. So we later had to shift to Delhi only. And that was one of the saddest moment of my life. Because I miss my teachers, I miss my school. My whole childhood life was based in Odisha only, because I practically grew up there. So my parents played a huge role in this. Even in 2019, when I was at the age of, I think, 9 years old, I got invited to the United Nations Climate Conference in Madrid, Spain, COP25, also known as COP25. What happened was, it was a really important event, conference I must say, to raise my voice. Everything was ready, all the documents, all the papers were ready, except for the flight ticket and hotel booking. Because you see, it's really expensive. And how do you expect a child to afford the expenses for that? But there was this, and I had to, and only one day before, I gave up on my decision, that fine, I will give up on the invitation that I got from the UN Climate Conference in 2019. Because I couldn't afford the expenses. But there was this one person who said, I will send my child to the United Nations Climate Conference in Madrid, Spain. I will send her. And that person is my mom. She broke her gold chain and sent me to the UN. From that moment, since ever I spoke in the United Nations Climate Conference in Madrid, Spain, held in 2019, from that point onwards, the world started knowing me. The world started recognizing me. That was my start point. That's where people started knowing me, about the work I did. So yeah, I would like to really thank my mom. Without her, without my parents, I wouldn't be what I am today.
Are you here? Mr. Priya's mom, is she here in the hall? Ma'am, can you just rise up for all our students?